In this video, I'm going to talk about tumbling. I'm going to talk about twisting, and I'm going to talk about double flipping. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually develop high-level tumbling. Not only am I going to show you how easy it is, and easy I mean straightforward, I'm also going to discuss the pitfalls and the reasons why people just, I don't know, go down these paths that aren't even beneficial to their future. Additionally, the reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of kids quit because they can't progress their tumbling. They just cap out, they plateau. And it's not because of them, and it's not really because of the coaches either, in the sense that everyone has good intentions, they're trying, but the reality is you're going down the wrong path. And so I'm going to show you the two different training paths that you need to go down and show you how they can converge into one another to basically produce the highest level tumbling with the least amount of resistance. This is a very straightforward process. So let's just dive in. It's going to get crazy, guys. All right, so this is why I'm making this video. Let's just watch this for a second. This is a girl doing a round off back tuck. I'm making this video because there's kids like her who are trying to do skills, and that's never going to progress. Like, that's not going to turn into something. But they're being allowed to do that, and they don't know any different. They're having fun. It's great. They're having fun. But are they really having fun? Would they be having more fun if they knew that their tumbling was purposeful towards their future? Okay, so let's check this out. This young lady, she's a level 4. She got a 10-0 on floor, apparently. That's her back handsprings down the floor. All right, no, nothing big. I just want you to see. So we got double back handsprings going down the floor, okay? Here we got some more back handsprings going down the floor. This young lady got a 9.85 on floor. Those are good looking back handsprings. They scored well. But I want you to know something. Those back handsprings are useless for the future. They're entirely purposeless. And so, yes, they did well at level 4, but those back handsprings are not what we want. Okay? They're not what we want. So what happens usually after an athlete learns a back handspring? They tend to want to go, oh, it's time to learn back tucks. Okay, so here's a girl doing a back tuck. It's going to be spotted. But this is where somebody goes. They go right into back tuck land. Oh, here's a little back tuck drill. Okay, that back handspring, not good enough. And yet we're already learning back tucks. This is now the athlete is going down the wrong path. They're literally learning something they shouldn't be learning because it's purposeless. It has no purpose to their future. I'm going to prove this to you. Okay, let's see what her back tuck actually looks like. If she does one. Okay. Good job. She does a drill. Okay, whatever. We'll move on to the next person. Check out this video. Okay, here we go. What do we got? Round off back handspring, back tuck. Okay. Girl does a round off back handspring, back tuck, and she's feeling good. She's probably super stoked that she got that. But that is not building for her future. So that is just building for her now. But her now, for what? Just to pat herself on the back and have ego? If she had better back handsprings that she could do something with, she would get a 3-for-1 deal. 3 skills for 1. I'm going to talk more about that, but let's keep diving in. So this girl is going to do a round off back handspring, back tuck. Is that a good enough round off back handspring, back tuck? No. Useless. Can't do anything with that. Purposeless. And yet there it is being developed. And time again, we are developing, athletes and coaches are developing the wrong skills. And I'm just going to show you. Here's a round off back handspring, back tuck. Okay, was that a good round off back handspring, back tuck? No, useless. Cannot use it for anything. But hey, you did a skill. Glad you feel good about yourself. Oh, here, let me spot you through this so you can feel good about yourself. Is that what kids are chasing after? Are kids chasing after mediocrity, or are they actually wanting to learn how to tumble and actually get high-level tumbling skills? Because a lot of these kids will never get to level 9, 10, even elite level tumbling skills based off of what I'm seeing right here. They're just not going to get it because the coaches don't understand what training path to go down. But don't worry, I'm going to explain it to you more. We're going to dive in. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Here's a gymnast round off back handspring, back tuck. Here's what she's got. Round off back handspring, back tuck. Can she do anything with that? Nope, absolutely cannot. Can't do anything with that, but hey, there's a skill. Let's be excited. Here's a round off back handspring, back layout. What has she got? Oh, and she pikes it down. Can she do anything with that? No, useless. Useless, not helping their future. But what do we do after we learn the layout, right? So the athlete gets a layout, whatever, it looks good, it looks bad, it don't matter. What do you usually go after? Oh, we got to teach the full, right? So we got to start twisting it. Okay, so now we start twisting, and cool, whatever, useless. It was totally useless. This is an irrelevant. Like, I used to do this stuff. This not helpful. Okay, and they're just progressing from one thing to the next. That's not what we need to be doing. I can guarantee you 100%. I'm going to show you that's not what you need to be doing. You're just wasting your time. I don't know why people want to waste their time. Here's a round up back handspring back layout. Okay, she's got a pretty decent one. So I'm going to say she's got a good one. But you know what? Nobody knows what they're supposed to do with that. Nobody knows what they're supposed to do with a back layout. No one. I mean, pretty much the smallest number of people probably do. But for the majority of you out there who are teaching back layouts for the heck of teaching back layouts, have no idea what you're supposed to be doing with a back layout. I'm going to tell you, you have no idea. Because a back layout is one of the most useless skills in the sense of what they're training it for. They're not using it properly. And nobody knows this. Nobody knows this because they don't talk about it. They don't, because they put it in the training and they put it in competition. They say, you need to learn how to do this round off back handspring back layout. You need to learn that. And they go, okay, I'll learn that. And then you just plateau and you get stuck and you don't know why, because your brain is thinking only for the thing you're supposed to be achieving, and then you don't know how to pivot off of that. Okay, here is the pivot point. So you ready? Are you understanding? Like, Raleigh is challenging the norm. I am challenging all of you, and I'm about to shut it down. I'm going to bury every single person's crazy idea that a back tuck matters, that a back layout matters, that's a path to go down, that these girls are developing gymnastics and good for them. You know what? They would be so much happier if they actually went down the proper path that took them to high-level tumbling. They would just be happier. So you can say, oh, well, they're having fun. Well, they'd be having more fun, is my guarantee. More fun, because it actually looked like real tumbling athletes. Okay, back whips. Back whips. Did any of those girls look like they learned back whips? Maybe one of them looked like they learned back whips. Majority of gymnastics, I don't know, I go to gyms and talk to people, it's like back whips, where are they? Where are they in the recreational levels? You know, you teach a kid a back tuck on floor. Who cares? They can't even back whip on a tumble track. They don't know how to back whip on a trampoline because you don't understand the importance of back whips. A back whip is a back handspring essentially with just no hands. Look at the shape. Look at the shape the gentleman is in. Is that not a back layout stretch you need to set? Well, he's just setting down instead of setting up. It's the same exact position as the back layout. Oh, and just because I just caught that, I'm gonna just touch on this. Stop telling people to set because you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Does that look like a set? Get your arms up. That guy's not getting his arms up. He's getting his arms up like this, like lifting his shoulders and elbows, but he's not reaching for the sky. And I can guarantee you he's probably doing more than one flip. Okay? So anyways, going back to the back whip. There's the back whip. There is the back whip. Look how low his head is into the ground. Okay? Is that not a back layout shape? Yet we don't teach back whips. It's not being taught across the board. It's not being taught at all. And there's a good reason that a lot of people don't do back whips, because I would not recommend competing them. I think doing back whips on hard gymnastics floor, probably pretty sketchy. You need to be a very high level tumbler to do back whips on floor. You need to be very aware of yourself, but it's also very important. But that being said, like, I wouldn't back whip connect type of thing. It's a very lots of energy being generated, but you need to know how to back whip. So you got to go to the tumble track. You got to go to your tumble tramp and go learn how to back whip down the tumble track and be able to connect them. So it's back handspring connections. And what's the point of the back handspring? So you can back whip. Did these little girls look like they know how to do back whips? Do their back handsprings look like they accelerate in a way that they're going to be able to back whip? No. They did not do that at all. They were not accelerating in a way that's like, oh, that's an acceleration. That kid's been doing back whips. And so this is our first problem, back whips. Now, why do I need to know how to do a back whip? Well, let's just watch this. Do you think she knows how to do a back whip? Are these not the shapes? Let's find them. Is that not the back whip shape that we just noticed? Is that not the back handspring throw, the back whip throw, the throw into the back layout, except your back layout went up, which stalled you, so you stopped rotating. And so you went into accelerate, horizontal tumbling, back handspring acceleration, into slow down tumbling, and no longer feel a rotation, and then you wonder why you can't teach double layouts. Double layouts are so ridiculously easy to teach. I guarantee they're just so easy. But you have to know how to back whip. It's as simple as it is. A double layout is just a kid who can back whip like connected, accelerate back whips. That girl didn't even look like she's moving fast. And she's doing double layout off a tumble track. Look how slow she looks like she's moving. She doesn't even look like, and then she just does, isn't it not hard? You're spending time teaching layout, tucks and layouts, and you're wondering, man, I wonder someday maybe I'll get a girl to do a double layout. Double layouts are not hard. They're really actually not. You go as fast as you possibly can, and you just, that's a back whip. That's a back whip takeoff with a different angle, and it's just a commitment. Oh, look at arch, back whip. Oh, pike down. That's what the back whip did in the finish. This is not complicated. You are now in double layout lane. So 3 skills. 3 skills. I mean, that girl was moving really slow. She definitely did not look like she did enough back whips, did she? Does she look like she knows how to back whip? Did that throw look like back whip throw? Let's see. Let's look at this. Does that look like she knows how to back whip? No, she started pulling her toes because she knows how to back layout and she doesn't understand how to back whip. She starts pulling her toes right there. She doesn't know how to back whip. She's not back whipping. She's not used to that. Just extend, throw, and don't pull your feet at all. Because what happens when, she's pulling her toes. She's pulling her toes because she got taught how to do back layouts, and she got taught that you have to do this little scoop, kick action, whatever, to create the rotation, because that's what people will say, whatever it is, lift the lower hips up, not throw the chest. And so she's done back layouts, and then that's what her double layout looks like. It stalls on itself. She doesn't have back whip connections. Easy. This is not complicated. But nobody goes down this path because they're scared, because they think, oh, it's got to be too hard. Does that look hard? That's not hard at all. It's just back whips energy. Okay, so here's the unlocking point. This is not a perfect drill I found, but this is what I actually like. So she's on a trampoline and she's jumping into a back whip. Now, what I would have an athlete do in this is for back handspring development and back whip development. I wouldn't have them jump forwards, by the way. I don't think that that's a beneficial thing. It kind of creates a funny relationship. It works for certain reasons. But I'd have her start at the end of the trampoline, the front of the trampoline, and I have the athletes jump as high as they possibly can. Listen again, I have them go on a trampoline, they jump as high as they possibly can. Because what is the back handspring problem for acceleration? It's throwing down into the ground. And so you jump as high as you can, feeling comfortable, not beyond your comfortability limit, but you go as high as you can, feeling comfortable, and then you jump, and then as you hit the trampoline, you throw into a back handspring. And you throw into a back handspring to the point where your elbows will actually bend. So you know that the athlete knows how to go down, because down is so important. So you land and throw down, then you can jump as high as you feel comfortable, and then you can land and throw into a whip. Both of those drills on a trampoline is basically all you need to get really confident in your connectability. All you need to do is figure out how to connect. You go, I don't know how to get accelerated connections. Jump high, throw into the ground, and be aggressive about it. The trampoline will help you. Another reason why you need a trampoline. Can you do it on a tumble track? Yes, but the tumble track is going to respond so much faster that you have to commit even more. So you could do it. You could probably do it off the end of the tumble track because the end of the tumble track is a little bit slower and it's a little bit more forgiving, and then you'd have to throw it into some soft mats that are also forgiving. But you need to be able to have this energy that falls out of the sky, and you need to be able to throw it into the ground. When you know how to do that, then you know how to bottom out a surface, and then you can go to the tumble track and basically you're working on double backhand or triple back handspring connections, then you're working on getting whip connections, and then you basically accelerate into bottoming out the tumble track and you throw a double layout. It's really not that hard. Double layouts are basically like an open double tuck, with your hips open and knees are bent. You can start there, but really you throw a double layout, it doesn't work for you, just shrink into a shape, get small, and you're just going to keep rotating. And there you have it. There's one path right there. 3 things that you need to do. You do a back handsprings, they accelerate the same exact shape into back whips, which accelerate into the same exact shape, which is now double layouts. You go, but Raleigh, I need that back tuck or that back layout. Let me ask you this question before you just all spaz out. Do you think a person who knows how to do a double layout could just do a tuck? Yeah. Do you think a person who knows how to do a double layout could just do a layout? Yeah. You don't have to teach those things. You really don't. They're going to go home on their trampoline and just throw a layout because they can. They're going to throw a tuck because they can, because they're so much easier. Because once you know how to throw handspring, whip, double lay, that's the throw action for all rotation, backwards. Once you know how to do that, Whether you tuck, pike, straddle, stag, split, it don't matter anymore because you know how to generate the energy for rotation. The lower half of your body is irrelevant at that point. You can just do stuff. Okay, so that's first off what we're tapping into is getting into there. But now we got to get into twisting. So we got the flipping, the double flipping, and now we've got to get into twisting. And so here's what we run into. We learn the normal path. Someone learns the back handspring, then they learn to tuck, then they learn to layout, right? And so once they learn to layout, what does somebody do? They say, hey, you should learn how to do a full. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with a full? I'm glad you learned a full. What are you going to do with this full? Nothing. Again, useless. But we don't know that because we're just teaching kids skills. What's she going to do with that? What is she going to do with that skill? Even if she lands that full, what is she going to do with it? It's not going to work for her. It's not going anywhere. It's just a skill being learned for no reason. Now, I have this video because there's a trampoline in the background. Okay, so here she's learning how to twist. Okay, and she's doing a half. Great. She's doing a half. There's a trampoline in the back. The way her twisting and technique is, she should just be on that trampoline working on fulls and 1.5s and double twisting, and she'd be far better off being on a trampoline getting twisting, that she wouldn't even have to worry about this at all. And yet we're doing this type of drill because the girl doesn't know how to twist on a trampoline. I guarantee you she doesn't know how to twist on a trampoline because did you see where her core shapes are, her arms and whatever's going on? I mean, you're going to say, Raleigh, no, she has a twist on the trampoline. I'm talking like actual real twisting, not my core is loose and disengaged with my knees and I got crazy head. None of this would be happening if she was actually developed on a trampoline properly. But whatever, you know what? She's doing her thing. Okay, so then you get to fulls, right? And so then somebody goes in, they go to compete. I just want you to see what this girl's competing. Okay, there's her back full. She's competing a back full. I'm letting you know right now that her back full would be better had she learned how to do handspring acceleration, whip acceleration, and had a double layout. That full would have just been better. But that's not even the problem. Okay, so that's what her back full looks like she's competing. It doesn't have to look that bad. It's easy. The progress is easy, but I'm just showing you. Okay, so let's watch this girl. Okay, so what do we get? We get a back full, and then someone goes, oh, I should do a back 1.5. Really? That's what you're going to do? Back 1.5? No, you're chasing down the wrong path, but this is so common. I want you to see how common it is. Look at back 1.5. I want you to see how common this actually is in how people think about skill progressions and where it gets them stuck. That's not a back 1.5 we can use. Okay, so now watch this young lady and watch her tumbling pass and notice maybe a little bit different, something different. Oh, she did a back 1.5 front pike. Did she have to front pike? I don't know. Let's think about this for a second. So she's doing a front pike. Why is she doing a front pike is my question for you. There's her front pike. Why is she doing a front pike? Okay. She probably doesn't even know why she's doing a front pike. But let's watch this young lady go. So let's see here. She's going to go into her tumbling. Now, this young lady, I actually think has more potential. So front layout, front full. I want you to see that. I just want you to see how good she actually is. She does a front layout, front full, and then watch this. Okay, there's that 1.5. I'm not knocking the gym. I actually know this club. I've competed against them before, and they're very good. And they're a great, solid program. However, again, the path that she's going on is still not the correct path. I can tell you that because I'm going to show you how, here we go, we'll get to her last tumbling pass. Okay, so she had it was a front layout, front full. Now she's doing front layout, front pike, and she did a back 1.5. She got three passes. She didn't need to do 3 passes. She's actually better than this, but she doesn't even know that she's better than this. So what's going on? Okay. Here's the thing that doesn't connect. Here's how we develop twisting tumbling. First off, take back full out of your mind. Single fulls, double fulls, anything that end in backwards in whole numbers, take them out of your head. We want backwards that end in odds, halves, 1.5s, 2.5s, and we want forwards that end in fulls. Front full, double full, until we get to the Rudy type of thing, 1.5. But there's a reason for that. Okay, so we talked about handspring whip connections into double A's. But then when we go into twisting, we start progressing our back tumbling into twisting, and we don't even know how to do this. Now, I don't think you have to do it from a front handspring, but front lay, okay? Front whip, whatever you want to call it. Probably on a tumble track, not on a floor, but you can go to tumble track and get front lay, or front whip so easily. Like I have girls who are in the Excel program going 6 hours, 8 hours a week, and they're doing front lay on a tumble track. Front lay. That's the starting point for twisting. Why? Because you need to know that you can accelerate horizontally across the floor. And twisting is going to come out of your ability to front tumble, not your ability to back tumble. But Raleigh, I need a back full. How is that forward? You do not need a back full. A back full is an entirely useless skill. You're going to go to level 10 and compete a back full? I didn't think so. You going to the Olympics and competing in a back full? I didn't think so. If you go to level 8 and you can do something more than a back full, wouldn't that be cool? Probably. Okay, so do you need a back full? No, a back full is a progressionary step to where you're going. But you didn't know that, did you? You're just teaching skills. So here we go. Front handspring, front lay. She can do it on floor. It's not even that pretty. But hey, she did it. Okay, what do we got over here? Now we get into a back whip, half front pike. So we go front lay. So I know I can connect two skills traveling forwards. So then I take the first skill and I turn it around backwards and I half it, right? So I go back half, front lay. Now, why is this important? Because if I cannot back whip, then how am I going to back half front? So I have to be able to back whip, front lay. And once you have those two things, I get to smash them into each other by putting a half turn in there. Back half front. Now, what is that back half front doing for me? It's setting me up for the most important connection of your life. Back half front is setting you up for the ultimate connection. And how early could you be learning this? But instead, you're wasting your time on back fulls and back halves that go up in the air, not whip halves. And you're wasting your time on front fulls, and you don't even have this. And this is the everything, because watch how quickly we're going to progress. So back half front. Now we're going to go, okay, there's our back half front again. We're just going to watch it back half front. Okay, she doesn't do too bad. All right, now we're going to watch this one. Where does it go to? Oh, front full, front lay. But Raleigh, why you were going backwards, now you're going forwards, right? Because a back half with another half would be a front full. Now, why would I want a front full? Hopefully you can start thinking about where this is going, right? Front full, front lay. So I got back half front lay, front full, front lay. Okay, or whip, whatever you want to call it, because it's going down, I understand, or horizontally. Then, wait a second, I go front full, front lay, front full. I was just twisting the first one and flipping, but now I'm flipping the first one and twisting. Yeah, see how this is blending? And we're seeing a lot of forwards tumbling happening here. Why? Because we're doing the only thing that matters. This is like the basics. This is basic 101 twisting. This is all you need to know how to do. Back 1.5, front full. Wait. We gotta make sure we saw this correctly. Okay, so let's check this out. Back half turns into a front full. So weren't we just working on front full connections? Front full to front lay? Yes, we were. And then if we were to not do the full, and we just did it a lay, weren't we working on front fulls out of a front lay? Yes, we were. So all we did was just add the half turns to everything to create connection. This is not complicated. I have step one, front lay. What was it? Front lay, or front whip, right? Then we did back half front lay. So that's 2 steps. Okay. Now we're getting into, then we go to front full, front whip, 3 steps. Then we get into front whip, so 4 steps, front whip, front full, there's 4. Now we're at back 1.5, 4 steps. All of that could be learned on the tumble track very, very quickly in the sense of, once you can front lay, then you just start twisting it and combining it. Once you got back whip, you just start twisting. All this can be developed on the tumble track. Simple. And then what are we chasing after? Do you know how many kids could do this but don't? Because they do not have the steps built in properly. How many girls could actually do this but don't? Because they don't have the steps built in properly. What are we doing? Back 1.5. Let's get back here. back 1.5, okay, back 1.5, front 1.5. Okay, and I'm going to back this up again. I want you to notice something. Look how low her head is to the ground. When we saw those girls doing back 1.5s that were not trying to connect, they were not doing this low. They were trying to go up. This girl is not trying to go up. She's whipping across the ground. She's not rising. And so you're teaching back layout full for what? Your girl's going to pull a double full and stick the landing? Why? Why? Who cares if you can do a double full and stick the landing? You need connection. You need connection. It literally, your start value requires connection. You need connection. So why do you care about the back full and the double full? It's not connecting for anything. What is it, back full is a B or something like that? So you throw a front lay, big deal. And why did I even waste my time teaching the twisting of backwards with a twist when I could just throw a front pike or a front lay and still get the same value of it? And it's silly. So back 1.5, I got a C. So back 1.5, and then I go connect it to a D and I get bonus for that. And all I had to do was go through these steps. This is where we're missing the whole entire thing. Okay, so here's what you got. Here's the path, the two paths. They're very straightforward. And I want you to understand something. Your brain will fill in the gaps. You will fill in the gaps. It's not like the kid's going to learn a back whip half without learning a back full and then going to back 1.5. So of course you're going to learn the back full, but you're learning it for the 1.5. You're not learning it to be isolated by itself for nothingness. Because what do? You take that back full and then all of a sudden you have to reteach it so that you can get that back 1.5 to go back into the ground to whip it. You have to teach a person how to whip the back 1.5 after you've already taught them to not do that. Why are you wasting your time? Stop going down these paths that are not getting where you want to go. There's literally two paths. Back handspring connections. You go back whip, double lay, easy. 3 steps. 3 just progressionary steps. You go to a tumble track, accelerate, accelerate, accelerate. Oh, you can do that? Well, now do a back handspring with a really high back handspring. Oh, that's a back whip. Congratulations. Now do a back handspring with a really high back handspring into another back handspring. Oh, that's just a back whip that goes down back into the ground. Yeah, just go to the trampoline, jump up in the air, go to the ground. Good. Now go back whip, back whip. Put some 8-inchers on the tumble track so it makes it softer and simple. Not complicated. Then you go to the tumble track, you say, cool, now just run as fast as you possibly can, round up back handspring, throw a double tuck. Got it? Good. Now throw a double pike. Got it? Good. Okay, now do a double tuck with an open hip action. Throw your head into the ground harder like you're trying to back whip into it. Cool. Now straighten your legs. Double A. Bing. Easy. Easy. When I have younger kids who are learning back handsprings, I ask them the question, I say, why are you doing back handsprings? They go, I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing back handsprings. I go, exactly. You're doing back handsprings so you can double lay out. Period. If you don't start with that understanding, then your back handspring will be good enough for a single back handspring, good enough for a double back handspring, good enough for a back tuck, good enough for a back layout, good enough for a back full. Oh my goodness, how many back handsprings do you got to teach? You got to reteach the back handspring every single time you pull in another progressionary step because you're not chasing the right thing. You're not chasing the biggest picture. And that's the simplicity of this. Like, honestly, I don't know how many years I spent just doing a whole lot of nothingness, racking my brain trying to get kids to try harder. And then the moment I understood this, it was like, I had a girl, I was helping out a gym once a week, okay? Helping out a gym. It was a rec gym, turned into competitive. Worked with a girl for about 6 months. I could just tell she knows how to throw energy. I got her doing double A's off the floor into the foam pit within 6 months of me showing up to this gym once a week. So that's not like I started with double A's. I got to know her. We worked, we did things. And then at one day, I slowly, 3 days. It was like 3 days of me being there where it's like, let's get you some double backs on a trampoline. Cool. Let's get you, familiar with this. And then it was like, cool. You know how to do whip connections down track. Awesome. All right. And then 3 days of me testing it out, and bam, she was doing double A's off the floor into the foam pit. It wasn't complicated stuff. And this was a girl that wasn't even a level 8 gymnast. Not even level 8. And she's doing double A's off the floor into a foam pit, and totally fine. You're not getting beat up or anything like that. So that was straightforward. Twisting. I remember I had an athlete. She's my level 10 at the time. She was level 9 at the time, but she got to level 10. And we're doing back 1.5. She's doing back 1.5 front fulls. And our back 1.5s were too high. They weren't whippy enough to get that front full to really land where it needed to be. And I had to go back and teach her how to do back 1.5s lower to the ground because her back 1.5s were just too high. And she could pull it off getting a front lay out of it, back 1.5 a little high, and she could get the front lay dump down into the ground, but it would work. But she couldn't twist it. It wasn't getting successful with the twist. Fast forward, I started realizing that front tumbling is just lacking across the board in my recreational program. Kids can't even go to the tumble track and do front tuck, and yet they want to learn how to do back handspring. And I realized that forwards connections allows you to actually accelerate and actually feel your energy move at max acceleration, and yet nobody was chasing after that. So we started chasing after forwards, and then I started realizing, oh, okay, you can really just take forwards, convert it into backwards, and that's how twisting really develops. It wasn't complicated. And any other twisting, if I'm going to teach back twisting, I'm doing it on a trampoline. I'm not going to teach back twisting from a horizontal travel. I'm not going to go back twisting, learn how to horizontally travel and learn how to twist from there. I'm not going to. I'm going to teach everything on a trampoline. I start with quarters. If it's backwards twisting on a trampoline, it's back quarter, back half, then back full. The interesting thing is, teaching a back full probably takes the most amount of time, and then learning a back 1.5 and a double full actually takes even less time than it took to teach the back full. So it's kind of like kips or like riding a bicycle, where the back full is kind of the sticky skill, and then once you get it, it's really not that complicated. And then you can get to back 1.5s, back double fulls pretty quickly. Back 2.5s, I even had kids going to back triples into like foam pits very quickly after they already understand how twisting works, essentially. So this is it. Path 2, front whip connections. Why? I want to know that my energy can accelerate horizontally across the floor. Then I take my back whip half. Thank you that I've already learned how to do back whip connections. So now I do back whip half to a front whip. Oh my goodness. I now have a back to front connection instantly, like not really that hard. Now I get my front connections better because I'm going to go front whip to front fulls, which are really not complicated to start learning. Then I'm going to get a front full to a front whip. I'm just going to flip it around because I need to be able to get twisting connected on the first flip. I need to get twisting connected on the second flip. And then I'm going to start smashing these things together and do backwards twisting on the first flip and forwards twisting on the second flip. And then I'm just going to progress it. And here you go. Here you go. This is how you do not waste time. And this is how you get gymnastics. This is how you get tumbling. And I don't see a simpler, more direct path than this. I have not seen athletes who can connect whips struggle with core tension and setting and all this other random just yuck that comes into the conversation. Like, you give me an athlete that does back whips down the tumble track and accelerates, we don't have a tension problem. You can't be loose and accelerate back whips down a tumble track. You don't have all these other shape issues, because to accelerate down the tumble track, you have to be tight to go faster, and you have to know which direction you're going. If you're too high, if you're too low, it won't accelerate because it's back whip connections. And so there's all this nuance that just gets solved right in the back whip connections. And the kinesthetic feedback for the athlete is just right there. Oh, I went too high, it's off. Oh, I went too low, it's off. And they start figuring it out so much faster than 47 other drills on how to teach a back tuck and 47 other drills on how to teach a back layout. You don't need to do that. You just don't. That's the beauty of this. You don't need to do it. It's so great. And this pathway, also the beauty of it is the fact that you go take somebody to teach them a double tuck. You're not stuck in double tuck land. You're not sitting there like, oh, we got to get this double tuck. It's really important. You're like, no, actually, I need to get a double layout. Double tucks are nothingness. So just chuck your double tucks. Thank you. Good job. Move on. Get to double pikes, please. We're trying to get to double A's. Because anybody who can throw a double lay is not having a problem with double tucks. They're just not. People who can do double A's are like, double tucks, no problem. This is how you're supposed to be thinking about the picture and the progressionary steps of gymnastics. But we get stuck with what the levels want of us. We get stuck with this bad philosophy that the easier skill will build us into the harder skill. And they really do not. The back tuck does not make you better at back layouts. So it's like relearning. And most of our problems as coaches come from the fact that we have to reteach. And as we're reteaching, we're ourselves having to learn new information constantly. But look how simple this is. There's 3 things that chase in one path, and there's 6 things that chase in another, and the 6 things build off of each other. So there's really only 3 things that chase in path 2 also, because they just build after that point, right? If I've already learned how to do a front full in step 3, then I already know how to do a front full in step 4. So 3 and 4 are basically the same. They're just swapped. So there's nothing to learn there. That's just literally doing. So the only thing I have to learn is I got my front whip connections. I just need to learn my back half because I already have front whips. And then I need to learn how to do a front full. And then I need to learn how to do a back 1.5. So I got front full, back 1.5, back half, and front. Four things, and then you smash them all together. And then the Rudy is just going to come. Literally the Rudy, you don't even have to teach it. You just go, do more, twist faster, Rudy. Simple. That's not even a complicated thing. So you got 4.5 skills you have to teach. 4.5 skills, and you're a level 10. You're spending how much time reteaching, spending your time on useless things when you could be teaching 4.5 skills. How long would it take you to teach 4.5 skills? How long would it take you? A year? 2 years? 3 years? Could you imagine in 3 years if you started this journey? You said year 1, front whip connections. Year 2, back whip, front half. Year 3, we're doing front full connections. Year 4, back 1.5. 4 years, you're level 10. Higher if you get to the Rudy connection. 4 years. 4 years, you're level 10 tumbling. But you start at 8, you get to 12, bam. Kid's a level 10 tumbler in 4 years. This is not, and you could teach one skill per year. No, you could get even faster. So this is my encouragement to you that we need to stop. We being anybody who's watching my YouTube videos and I'm pretending like I'm a part of something, like a big group of people. But the reality is coaches need to stop chasing down these paths that are not beneficial to the future. They just do. And I've never seen, I mean, I love seeing these athletes' eyes just light up because they get skills so much faster. It makes so much more sense to them. It's so much more directional, purposeful. It's just awesome. And this is what I love to do, is open this up and unlock this for athletes. And I'm really hoping this is making a lot of sense to you. So if it is making sense, if you understand what I'm saying, if you understand the importance, the value, the impact it's going to have on your students' future, leave a comment, like, subscribe. Share this video, tell your friends. I'm trying to get my user base, my subscriber base bigger, just because I'm trying to build a bigger audience, because I want to continue bringing more value. I'm doing low quality videos so I can crank out as many as I can. And as the user base gets bigger, then I can put more time and resources into making my videos even better. But until then, I really appreciate anybody who's watched the video this far. I really thank you for making it this far. You are important, you are valuable, you are a huge aspect to making me want to show up every single day for you. So even though I don't know you and I don't know the struggles you're going through, I still want to hear from you. I still think everything you're doing is awesome, in the sense that if you're showing up to coach, good job. Good job to you for showing up to coach. And if you want to slowly show up without feeling like you have to burn out, please reach out to me and let me know where your sticky spots are, where your burnout, where your frustration is. I'm going to make a video about it, and I'll help you navigate through those pitfalls so that you can show up excited and actually see the hope and go, wow, getting to level 10 is not actually that complicated. I just got to go down the right path. And after that, the pieces will fall into place as long as we put in the effort and the work. And so, hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Be blessed. Bye.